Yeah, it's just great to be out. Thanks. It's good to see faces. We've been cooped up, and so bear with me. It's my first presentation in about a year, so I appreciate it. But I'm here to talk about the Open to Business program. Open to Business is a resource provider for small businesses. We are a program of the Metropolitan Consortium of Community Developers. It's a mouthful. It's MCCD. It's a 501c3 nonprofit out of Minneapolis. And so how we got started with small businesses was about 30 years ago. MCCD was working with businesses that were really good at what they were doing, but they didn't know the X's and O's of running the business. So everything kind of behind the scenes, registering your business, doing your books, things like that. So MCCD started providing services for those businesses. And so what we found out was, in the counties and the cities surrounding Minneapolis, all these same issues were still there. And so we expanded in about 2011 to go out to the counties and the cities surrounding the Twin Cities. And we started here in Washington County, as Nathan mentioned, in the middle of 2017, so almost about 4 years now. So we do primarily two things at Open to Business. We provide business coaching and technical advisory, and then we also have a small loan program, which I'll get into shortly. I'm the business advisor for Washington County, and so if you have a business or you're thinking about opening a business here, or if you live in Washington County, then I'm your advisor. But we have a team throughout the Twin Cities. So like North St. Paul, we have a Ramsey County advisor, and we can gear you towards the right advisor, whatever you might need. We also have different expertise on the team. So as Nathan said, I was in banking before. We've got people that were in sales, marketing. And so if you have a specific need in your business, then we can link you up with the right advisor. And so we do this in partnership with Washington County. And so I just wanted to say thank you, Commissioner Kurowski, for all the support, because without the support of the county, this program doesn't work. And so we're very appreciative of that partnership and the ongoing partnership of the local chambers and all the people. This program only works because of the people in the county and how we interact with each other. And so just wanted to say thank you about that. So what is Open to Business? We do one-on-one technical advisory with clients. And so we meet with people face-to-face, hopefully as things reopen. We talk about what their challenges and what their business is, what opportunities they might have, if they're a startup business, how you get started. I'm sure Bill and Eric get a lot of people that come in and say, I'm here for a loan, I want to start a business, and they're just not ready to go. They just don't know kind of what to do yet. And so that's a big thing, a big bulk of what we do is we sit down with people right on the front end of what they're doing. I met with someone, my first year, and we had a nice 1-hour meeting about how she wanted to start a business. Everything was going really well. And then I said, well, when do you want to start it? And she said, well, when my son graduates from high school, which is in 5 years. So there's no too early a time to come meet with us. And we certainly meet with a lot of businesses. Our startup, half the businesses that we meet are startups, and about half of them are existing businesses that have a challenge or opportunity. Another quick story is my very first client. They fill in little client intake forms, and so someone filled it out and said they wanted to start an e-commerce business on renewable energy. And I thought, oh, this is cool. This is a good way to start, and I'll learn a little bit about that. He comes in and he's got a walker, and I'm like, hello, nice to meet you. And he told me that his 96th birthday was next week or something, and I was like, oh, that's amazing. So no age qualification, no gender, no race qualifications, income qualifications. It's open to anyone in Washington County. So the main things that we do for the technical advisory are we help people plan their business, write business plans. We do cash flow projections. We do budgeting. So if people need to start a business, one of the main reasons businesses struggle at the beginning is they're undercapitalized. And so we make sure that they're accounting for all their expenses. So when they get started, they're starting off with a good foundation. And so a lot of businesses are changing the way that they're doing business. They're doing a lot more online right now. Marketing is changing. Before it was more, print and this and that, and now all these different ways to market your business. We can, work with you to assess kind of what you're doing and where you can, where you can improve maybe, or where you can hit your target markets and things like that. And then, a lot of it's just recovery work. Since the pandemic, we're doing a lot of different stuff, helping people kind of restructure their business, refocus on things that they're doing now that they weren't doing before. And so it's been a lot of that as well. And then another thing that the Open to Business program does is that we're a small lender, and so we do startup financing of up to $25,000 for businesses, and up to $50,000 for like manufacturing businesses or businesses that have more capital needs, more equipment needs, things like that. And then we also do gap financing with banks, and so that is, if they're in a building that they operate out of, they get a chance to buy the building. And they go and they get a loan, and the bank says, that's great, we love the project, we can do 80% of the loan. That still leaves a big equity requirement for the borrower to come up with that could really harm their working capital. And so we come in and we do part of that equity requirement in the form of a loan. And so we do, maybe 10% of it, and so they can retain working capital. It's more just getting deals over the top that wouldn't have gone forward before. And then with the startup businesses, these are for businesses that can't get bank financing. So they go in to talk to Bill, and they don't have any operating history, it's just a way for our banking partners and our credit union partners to say, I'm not going to say no to you. You should go talk to Open to Business, get your business plan together, get your projections together, maybe do a loan with them, pay it off in 3 years or whatever that might be. And when you're ready to move up, come back to the bank. And so we're working in partnership with our banks and not in any competition. The last year, we've been really busy with COVID work, and so we were the administrator for Washington County CARES Act grants, and with the state grant funding in the first part of the year. And so we administered 900 or so grants throughout Washington County, and of which I believe about 100 of them were Oakdale businesses or residents. So quite a bit of activity here in Oakdale. And then we've just been kind of, like I said, we've been just kind of helping people kind of recover and reset their plans in place. Overall, since the program started, I've met with about 380 small businesses here in Washington County, and that could be like one-off conversations, like I need to know how to register with the state, I need to know how to do that, and then I've had clients that I've literally been working with for the last 4 years, and so. It really kind of runs the gamut. We want to have relationships with the clients too, because we want to kind of go through that journey with them, make sure that they know that they're not going at it alone. And so if you have a question or anything like that, it doesn't have to be a bank that refers, if you have a relative or a friend that's thinking about starting a business and you're kind of scratching your head and thinking like, hey, they could use some help, send them over to me and we can sit down and give a third party kind of an objective view of their business and how they're starting and everything. And so, trying to think of what else. We've worked with, I think, 32 businesses in Oakdale, or business owners that live in Oakdale, and so we're always looking for ways to expand our marketing. We don't have a big marketing budget, so a lot of what we do is really dependent on doing events and doing presentations and really that word of mouth. And so we're very appreciative if you have anyone that you can refer over. Just because the service is free to the entrepreneur, meet with us as many times as you want, really try to encourage it. And then we're also confidential, so we understand that a lot of businesses that come meet with us have a kind of a tough issue that they might be working through, and so that you don't necessarily want to broadcast that or let people know about it until you get things in line. And so we're very strict about our confidentiality, and so to keep that in mind as well. So how you get in touch with us, we have, we're on the Washington County CDA website. We have a website. We have a network kind of throughout Washington County. I've got brochures and cards over there, but you just generally give me a call and we set up a meeting. And then the first meeting, we talk about the business for about an hour, and then we try to identify the next action steps of, how are we going to get this, to the next level, or how are we going to get through this current problem that you're working through right now. And so we try to create kind of culture of accountability and say, hey, if we meet in 2 weeks, let's try to have this, and this done, and then we go from there. And so that's generally the idea. I office out of the Washington County CDA building over in Woodbury. We've been working from home. We've been doing Zoom meetings. We've been doing phone meetings. But as we reopen, really our bread and butter is meeting people face to face. It really, to us, it's more effective when you actually talk to someone, can sit down, put some plans out on the table and everything. It just works a lot better. And so we're really excited to get back out there. We can meet anywhere, coffee shop, your business, the CDA. Really, we just try to meet people where they're at. And so we're really excited to get back to those face-to-face meetings. So trying to think. I think that covers most of it. I can open it up to questions too if anyone has any questions about the program, how we operate. Yeah, Nathan.
Yeah, I was going to say Small Business Development Center and SCORE. How do they either compare or differentiate from you?
Yeah, that's a great question. So SCORE is just it's a great network of volunteers that do webinars and things, and sometimes they can meet with you. I think the difference is SCORE is a really great resource. I think with us, we can come meet you, and there's no real application process. It's just kind of, you call us up, you set a meeting, and we go, and then we have kind of that ongoing relationship. And then we also have that small loan program that we can access within with MCCD. And so I think that those are the kind of ways that we differentiate a little bit. And then SBDC is not really too active in certain areas, and so that's more of kind of a geography thing. And so, but we work in partnership with the SBA. Our biggest interest is that the business owner is getting the right advisory, and so we refer to the SBDCs where we aren't geographically, and then we also work with the SBA resources like the 504 loans and the 7A loans that the banks utilize. We can work within those lending programs as well.
Yes, without naming names, can you also just give the audience an idea of types of businesses most likely to see?
Yeah, that's part of my presentation that I skipped over. But so about a third of the businesses are service businesses, and so that's kind of broad. We're working on narrowing that down a little bit because service is just so broad and everything. Yeah, general. Food and beverage is 25% of who we meet with. Retail is 12%. Professional is 10%. Health and fitness 7%. Construction, manufacturing 6%. So it kind of runs the board. Yeah, and I'll just say about 95% of who we see are less than 10 employees. And so, Washington County is made up of small businesses. I think that's right in line with what Washington County is. It's 95% is less than 20 employees. And so it's a very small business-based county. And so that's what we see in the advisory as well. Very rarely do we see businesses come in that have like 25, 30 employees. We do see it, but it's more like when they're looking to add employees and how do we access good employees and how do we retain good employees and things like that. So we can go through that with them. Yeah, Holly.
So when you say we,
yeah.
like how many are you talking about staff or just we as in Washington County, Ramsey County?
Yeah, so the business advisor staff right now is 6, and we're adding more just because there's more demand out there for technical advisory. And so we work one-on-one, but if there is a question, we're very collaborative as a staff. So if someone has a big marketing background or bookkeeping, for example, is another one. We have an advisor on staff that was into bookkeeping, and so she offers up to 20 hours of free bookkeeping, QuickBooks training and service. And so when I say we and someone comes and says, hey, I really need help with bookkeeping, I don't even try. I just say, you need to call Kristen. Here's her information, and then she can set you up, get you a discount on QuickBooks and things like that. And then we also partner with professional organizations that, I'm not an attorney. I don't want to give you legal advice. I don't want to get you sued. I don't want to get sued. And so we partner with Legal Corps, which works with typically low-income entrepreneurs. And then we also work with University of Minnesota Law Clinic, where they can do things like review contracts and do anything basically that's outside of litigation for free. and so, it's just a way for, if you've got one, like someone needs to review a lease or something like that, they want an attorney, then we can match you up. So when I say we're kind of a collective. I'm, kind of the point person, and I'll work with you mostly, but we have kind of resources behind us that can help out.
Could you tell us like a success story of one of your favorite people?
Yeah, we were just talking about one before. We were out knocking on doors, literally, just introducing, and we met a business owner that runs a store, and he was trying to redo his financing structure, and it was just kind of random, that we ran into him, and he said, yeah, I could use the services, and I might be able to use the loan fund, and so we started meeting with him and really kind of developed a relationship, and so we were able to partner with a bank to refinance this kind of deal that he wanted to get out of that was coming due, where he was thinking about different options about what to do with this, can we keep the store, can I continue to operate, and so we were able to do that. In addition to refinancing, we were able to add some equipment that was really vital to the operation of the store, and they're doing great.
Well, let me add to that. Well, being that I was a city councilman in Marine, I knew that our businesses could use some help and just maybe even some consulting help. And we went and walked and talked to every business in town and pulled some people out. What I'll tell you about this, think about a couple that's in the industry and work in the industry, but have never owned the business themselves. So they were new to owning a business. So all the different things you need to worry about, new, multifaceted, that's one aspect of what Tyler brought to the table. In looking at them that way, it's something that I wouldn't have as many facets. Also came up with an idea of, well, when they bought the business, actually they didn't have enough capital. What does everybody do nowadays? It's a contract for deed. What's wrong with a contract for deed? It's extremely expensive. The rates are high. Marks keeps great, and that's one of the things we try to get people out of because it helps their cash flow, it allows them more capital to do improvements and hire more staff and improve the business. That was the key to this, is that then that was brought into the equation. Here's the other thing. They bought the business, power went out that week, and they lost $10,000 worth of inventory first week. That's a big hit. Then it went out again, and the same thing happened again. So what is this crucial piece of equipment you talk about? They were able to actually finance a generator. So now when the power goes out, they don't have a problem with that, and they're also telling the whole town, you guys want to come down to the store when the power's out and put your meat and stuff in our freezers, we'll let you do that, and they do. I mean, it's that kind of a community thing. They are really, really doing well to enough where he could retire off of his other job, and now he's running the business full time, which is even saving them more money because he's the owner, and it's multifaceted in how they help them. It wasn't just the, hey, I got a need, I want to get out of this. It was all these different aspects of the company that he actually fine-tuned them with, which was, it makes a success story. And I think that was the big point of that, and it worked wonderfully. They love you. They love you.
I'll just say it's part of the trust that came with that was the partnership. So I mean, with Bill there, it was kind of like that's one of our biggest challenges is that we're new to people, and so we've been here for 4 years, but we're still new to people, and one of our biggest blocks is just saying like, hey, let's do something together, let's finance something together, show you that it can work, and so. Having Bill there was really helpful because they knew each other, and it was like, okay, let's talk, and so it was really appreciated. But yeah.
Question number one also is, he obviously didn't have a quality insurance policy for that. Anyway,
brand new business owner, he didn't have the right agent to tell him you need to have.
Amen.
Right?
There's not enough of it.
That's the point.
So, what is your limit on amount of money that your organization can borrow?
So we can do up to $25,000 for startups, and so that's just very low collateral. That's someone that's opening up a retail shop. If there's collateral attached to it, we might be able to go a little bit larger. If it goes larger than that, then we partner with either a bank, a credit union, or another nonprofit partner. So we figure out kind of how to do it. We just have our internal limitations based on that. We don't want to lend too much out on a startup that's very risky, you know, and so.
How do you pick the bank? So if you're in River Falls, for example, you have a handful of banks, or if you're in Oakdale, how do you run that tightrope?
How do we meet the banks?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we.
How do you pick who you're going to reference to?
A lot of it is geographic. A lot of it is knowing the bankers and what their specialties are. You know, so we go out and meet banks all the time, and we talk about that. We say, what do you guys like to do? What do you guys like to stay away from? Things like that. Are you small business minded? Can you only do real estate? Can you do startups? Things like that. Oh, I mean, no one can really do startups, but yeah, those are through the conversations. But a lot of it is geographic because we like to keep Washington County businesses financed with local Washington County banks. Yep.
When you look at financing equipment, loans and things like that for companies that are not startups, that are not growing, are the loan criteria rates and terms the same as the SBA that are coming from the Washington County Economic Development Group, or are they different, or how is that structured?
So we consider ourselves an exception lender. So that's not to say that we can do very, very risky deals, but we don't line up exactly with the SBA. We're not affiliated with them lending, but like what we would do is underwrite it like a bank would. And usually if it's a piece of equipment that's a little bit larger, usually a bank is leading that charge and we come in. And so like, for example, I worked on one a few years ago where they were adding a piece of equipment for $100,000 and the bank said, we love it, it's great, it's used equipment though, so we can only finance 50% of it. And so they were like, well, we don't have $50,000, you know, and so that's where we could come in and do like 30% or something like that. So we just kind of work deals to make sure that we feel comfortable that there might be some collateral attached to it, but then also we take our cues from the bank, and that's kind of what we do. We say, what can you do? And then where's the gap? Or, you know, where's the gap between what you can do and what they can do, what the borrower can do? And then try to fit it in within there. Just going really back really quick, when we do partner with banks though, instead of just the startup financing, when we're doing what we call the gap financing or the real estate financing, we can go up to about $300,000, which is almost always leveraging a larger project, you know, so that's like when the bank can do 80% of it and we can come in for 10%. That might be leveraging like a $3 million project, but our limits are 5% of our overall loan fund, which are about, you know, right now is about $7 or $8 million, and so it's about $300,000 on a maximum. So if we do a deal like that, that's an elephant for us, you know, and so it doesn't seem like a lot, but it, you know, hopefully, you know, helps get those deals done. And we're always subordinate to the lead lender too, and so and the SBA, yeah. And so whenever we're in a deal like that, we're second in repayment and collateral position. And we have no prepayment penalty either. So if, you know, typically when we partner with banks, we might be a percentage higher just because we have a little bit extra risk. We're working on that, our pricing, and trying to get that down. We're just a percentage higher than the banks just because we're riskier capital. We always encourage them, once they get some free cash flow, just to pay us off, because we don't have, you know, sales goals like that or anything. We don't need to maintain our balances. We just want to make sure that they're, you know, getting the least costly capital.
So what would you consider, like, say, out of 6 top people, like, there's one that really marketing pro, one's very good at technology such as digital campaigning,
Yeah.
accounting, like you have every app, what do you call it, facet?
Yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, we one of the things that we do too is we create a local network, and so like media or something, you know, where if someone needs to do something a little bit more than what we can do, you know, we're one-on-one business providers. We don't have infrastructure like a company behind us or anything like that, other than the nonprofit. But like if someone comes in and they say, hey, we want to do a campaign or something like that, it's kind of up to us to create a local network, you know, to say, hey, you need to call Nathan, or you need to call someone in the community that can do a little bit more. And so, but if it's more about strategy and, you know, take a look at what I'm doing and let's work through like a plan or something like that, then we can do that. And so yeah, we got marketing people on the team, bookkeeping, accounting people on the team. My background is banking, e-commerce. Someone is really big in e-commerce and things like that. So, yeah.